There was a man named Ari, son of Gunnar, outlawed and cursed for killing his wife and his brother. He was captured by a pirate, chained to a bench on a galley, and brought as a slave to the far ends of the earth. The fate spinners love irony, and Erelf loves it too. I'm not the man you think I am, Kyrra. Let me warn you now. I can already see you rolling your eyes, but I'm not the man you think I am doesn't stop with a name or clothes, or a story about a man in search of truth and the goddess who betrayed him. I heard you tell my story once, in the hall after supper. I drank too much, and you followed me down to the grotto and asked me what I was thinking. I said, I'm thinking about the way the stars looked, and you told me about climbing onto the roof with a spyglass, because your tutor had said some stars had rings. That must be a bit of poetry, I scoffed, but you said, no, and seeing the rings was worth being confined to my room for a week. Your eyes shone in the moonlight, and your mouth turned up at the corner in that hopeful way you had sometimes when we were alone together. Perhaps this memory isn't true, but I'll accept needing to invent it. That innocence is what I hope the edge of your Gavaro self hasn't cut away. I look into your eyes, and they're full of questions, because you don't know who we are together. Husband and wife, but also somehow strangers. I don't know what you had to do to become your own version of not the man you think I am, and you know I have other scars on my palm, vows I made long before we met. I've always remembered just enough to realize the man I saw in the ice at my scrying, the killer, the drunk, the selfish, self-absorbed, too proud man, wasn't a dream-conjured nightmare, but my reflection. I know you've read about the Dagmari raiders, those vicious northern wolves who plundered Dagmar, Vensal, and the outer isles for silver coin and golden-haired men and women to sell to Eteria as slaves. I remember when I told you John had once owned me. The galleys stole our rights, however we came to the oars, as criminals or kidnapped labor. John had no reason to believe I was anything other than a common murderer when I was first dragged off that ship. The Calfan Empire filled its eternal need for unskilled rowers by condemning criminals to galley service. But if a pirate was clever, he could make an enormous amount of coin selling men to the galleys, using forged papers that listed the many horrible crimes for which they had been sentenced,